Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It is almost 2:30 here on Saturday afternoon. And Ken, we have started to see things coming from the sky here in the Knoxville area. Where are we at?
Sitting right about 30, 31 degrees across the area. So what we've been seeing across the region, rain, snow, mixed with some freezing rain. So we're going to continue to see that transition more to freezing rain here in the short term.
Sure. All right. Well, let's see. We'll pull up our graphics here, and you can get us started with where we're at.
What we're going to see, we're staying weather aware. Obviously, the threat for freezing rain is going to be continuing as we go now through sunset. But tomorrow, as we've been saying, it's going to be all rainfall across the area. So if we can get through this time frame, basically now through about sunrise, things will improve rapidly through the day tomorrow. But that doesn't mean we're completely done, because another shot of cold air comes in, especially as we go Sunday night into Monday morning. Whatever roads are still wet will refreeze, and we'll see a little bit of light snow on top of that.
Okay, but so far, are we kind of tracking with what we've been talking about the last couple of days, everything we anticipated?
No major changes to the forecast at all, kind of going as planned, which is good. Good to see that. Notice the storm system. Again, the main area of low pressure is still down in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's what's going to lift northward and really force in the warmer air and bring all that rain you see across Louisiana into our direction. But in the meantime, the purple is snow. The pink is that wintry mix across our area. This is Lower Broadway, Nashville, a mess over there today for sure.
They're moving pretty slow out there.
Yeah. Now, of course, they had it sooner.
Right.
They had it move through the area a little bit sooner. This is Crossville, downtown. You can see the snow on the sidewalks. Roads were pre-treated and are pretty good, but I will say it's much colder in Crossville, as we talked about yesterday. They're in the teens and low 20s right now. So as soon as the sun angle gets a little bit lower in a couple of hours, those roads will turn hazardous very quickly. Here's another look a little further to the east. We're going into Roane County. This is top of the Emergency Operations Center. Look at the snow on top of the roofs there in the buildings in the background. And if you look along the lake shore, the river there, you can see some snow on the banks there as well. So
you can.
We're kind of dealing with, borderline temperatures at best across the area right now. This is downtown Knoxville. We've seen some snowflakes, but also, we're starting to see already more of a mix of rainfall here in the Knoxville area across the region. We actually have a live look outside as well. This is in our front garden.
It is, and you can see on the leaves there just kind of how things are maybe starting to sag out there just a little bit.
They're getting a little bit wet out there, and this trend's going to continue. I think it's working in our favor that the sun is up. It's not out, but the sun is up. Still at the high angle right now. This is kind of the peak angle this time of year.
Sure.
So the next couple of hours are going to be key. You're going to see the sun
We're not
go
warming
down.
back up.
We're not going to warm back up, at least not in the short time.
Sure.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
talk about that, Elena. That's a great question. What we're looking at here, temperature sitting at 30 in Knoxville, 27 in Oak Ridge. As I mentioned, it's very cold across the plateau, 19 in Oneida, 20 in Jamestown. So whatever is falling, it's definitely sticking to those surfaces that haven't been treated, and travel will go downhill very quickly if it hasn't already. In fact, taking a look at travel conditions across the area, we are seeing some snow-covered roads across portions of the plateau up into southeast Kentucky, and you can kind of see that. Get my graphic to switch here. You can see that on our graphic. Shaded kind of in the blue coloring. We'll get it to change here in a minute.
Yeah, but the moral of the story here is definitely it's time to wrap up any errands or anything people might have been trying to get done for now. When I was driving around this morning, coming in here to our studios, we could definitely see things starting to build just a little bit. Still a lot of people running around getting some of those errands done, but now's a good time to put the bow on that and head back inside.
Absolutely. You can see it's all green. Knoxville down through Tellico Plains and eastward, and that's simply because traffic conditions are okay right now. But back to the west where you see the light blue, that is some snowy roads, but the darker blue there on the border there with Cumberland County, that is heavier snow-covered roads across the area. It keeps changing, sorry. The red is where we're seeing some stronger icing, we'll say, Bledsoe County into Ray County, and the pink is kind of a mix still. It's starting to get a little dicey. So things aren't improving. It's because the road temperatures are colder there. Remember, they're in the teens for their temperatures.
Yeah.
We're right at freezing. So it's not going to get better across the plateau. In fact, we can take a look at the forecast for these road temperatures as we go over the next several hours here. It's going to stay very cold across the plateau as we go between now and sunset. You'll see these temperatures start to drop. This is right about 6 o'clock, 7, so we're past sunset now. And look how cold those roads are. We're doing okay in the Knoxville area, but don't be fooled by that because the elevated surfaces, your bridges, your overpasses, they freeze a lot quicker.
Right.
Air is allowed to circulate underneath them. It cools a lot quicker.
Sure.
So just be careful.
Yeah, so let's say like your neighborhood's good, or maybe you're even in Knoxville driving along Kingston Pike. Things might be going just fine. However, you still don't want to take any of those turns too quick because a shaded spot or those spots that maybe, the overpasses, the bridges, those could still spell trouble.
Absolutely. This is 11 o'clock, so same areas, especially north of Knoxville, northeast Tennessee, road conditions will be on the dicey side. I'd say further south, not as bad as you're heading down towards 75 to Chattanooga. Let's head into early tomorrow morning. Again, borderline Knoxville, a little better up towards the north and east. And this is what we were talking about. Temperatures actually warm up a bit as we go through the overnight hours into early on Sunday. And watch as we hit midday. Much better.
The numbers
road
are pretty much
temperatures.
gone there.
They are. So here's a couple of reasons why. Warmer temperatures, heavier rainfalls. We talked about yesterday. Once that heavy rain starts to kick in, it's going to melt a lot of the ice very quickly that are on the area roadways. That trend continues through the afternoon, but again, notice sunset. We're right about 6 o'clock. It comes back across the plateau, and after midnight, we're going to see that colder air work its way into the valley. This is 11, so we're probably still good, but it doesn't take long. Look how quickly it drops overnight into Monday morning, and that's why we're saying these aren't air temperatures. These are road temperatures.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a problem, and as I mentioned, there will be a little bit of light snow that comes in as the Arctic air comes in behind this front as well. So into tonight, there'll be some travel issues for some, especially as we just showed you north and west of Knoxville, less likely over towards the foothills. We talked about this yesterday that I think Gatlinburg, you may see a few flakes. I don't think we'll see much in the way of freezing rain.
Okay.
By tomorrow, temperatures are going to be so warm, it's all rain and probably no travel impacts further to the east.
Okay,
So
but
that's
still,
good.
so don't take this though as the opportunity to drive from across the town, across the counties to get there, because where you are still might not be fantastic.
That's correct. And as we said, it will improve through the day Sunday because of the warmer temperatures and the rain, but we're talking some 1 to 2 inch rainfall totals.
And that's a significant amount of moisture there.
Just on a day we're in the 60s and you get that much rain, travel can be difficult.
Yes.
You can hydroplane. People are driving too fast for conditions. So that's why I want you to pay attention to that during the day Sunday. And as we just showed you, it gets cold after sunset into Monday morning. A light snow on top of ice is going to be problematic.
Sure.
So here's the next several hours, Elena, what we're looking at. We're 30 degrees right now. I see us maybe climbing close to freezing by the time we get to midnight, 1 a.m. So,
But it's not a major drop off.
It's not, and we're not going to get any colder.
Okay.
This is probably as cold as we're going to be in this event in the Knoxville area.
And does
So
that help us here?
it does. For maximum ice accretion or accumulation, you want it probably upper 20s or colder.
Sure.
They are seeing those kind of temperatures across the plateau up into Kentucky, but not here, and certainly not further east towards the lower elevations of the foothills, places like Sevier County, even Blount County at this point. Now watch as we go overnight. So that was through 1 a.m. I'm going to take you into about midday tomorrow. Look at our temperatures. They continue to climb. So that's why I say really from about now through sunrise tomorrow would be our biggest opportunity to have road impacts.
Yep.
Otherwise, we're rapidly improving as we go through the day.
Well, it's good that it's not starting now a complete drop off and that's the end of it.
That's right. So this hasn't changed. Basically, through this evening, these are the areas that have the best chance to see accumulating snow, and it's going to be further to the north, some 1 to 2 inch totals right along the Tennessee-Kentucky border before we see that quick changeover to where everybody will be seeing some freezing rain opportunities. And as we've been saying, areas to the east, very limited.
Too warm.
It's just a little too warm. And here, even in the Knoxville area, trace to maybe 1/10 of an inch. Our areas of concern are further to the north and west. That darker pink, that's 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. And like I said yesterday, day before, my biggest concerns, Crossville, northward up into southeast Kentucky, those 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch totals. And this is what that means. 1/10 of an inch, kind of what we're expecting here in Knoxville. There are going to be some slick bridges, some roads, but as we showed you, majority of the main heavily traveled roads, no major impacts there.
Should be fine getting through the main areas. But again, don't
Yeah.
discount the occasional slick spot because that's really all it takes.
It sneaks up on you because, again, this is freezing rain. It falls as rain and freezes once it's on contact. So with these borderline temperatures at 30, 32 degrees, you don't know where those patches of ice are going to be.
So you still need to be just as alert and paying attention as you would if you were expecting those higher ice totals.
But I will say this is not the kind of accumulating ice in the Knoxville area that's going to cause widespread power outages.
And we can be thankful for that, at least.
We will be. Let's go to the next category. That's quarter inch. So we're talking further west, places like Roane County, Northwest Anderson. You go up into Campbell County. This is where our travel trouble spots are going to be. So you're going north on 75 past Rocky Top up to the Kentucky border. That's where we're going to have some travel issues, especially as we get closer to sunset. And you may have some isolated power outages here.
Right.
Maybe if a weakened tree branch falls on a power line, then you're going to have problems. But
it shouldn't be the widespread.
it shouldn't. That's our next category, that half inch or more. So Cumberland County up through the Kentucky border.
Sure.
That's where I'm more concerned, where we'd have tree damage and where we could have some more widespread power outages.
Because it just weighs the branches down. And it can't even build on the actual lines themselves, right?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And it sags them down. And this is what we said, as cold as it is there, temperatures now in the teens and 20s, yes, they will warm up as well overnight, but not until then.
Right.
So that's why we think the accumulating ice will be most problematic in those areas. So let's kind of go hour by hour here to kind of give you a little bit better idea. So overall travel impacts, they haven't changed. Worse west and north, especially that red in Kentucky because they've got the higher snow totals. They'll see the more freezing rain. As we said, less areas to the east. That's what the gray shading is there. Limited impacts, if anything. It's mainly a cold rain. And wait till you see the temperatures that I'm expecting to show you here for those lower elevations into the foothills, because once the winds kick in out of the south, it's going to be very warm there.
Well, and I know that was one factor, is that wind wasn't going to be a huge part of getting us through today, or the whole area anyway.
Correct. Higher elevations will be quite windy. And thankfully, they're not seeing a whole lot of ice.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have major power outages there either, but it is going to be a windy day as we go through the day tomorrow in the foothills, higher elevations of the Smokies. So here's where we are right now. Pretty good handle on this. We're sitting at about 30 degrees with those teens across the plateau. Let's go a little bit further in time. Stop it here at 11 o'clock. Okay. We're hovering at freezing, but notice even the plateau has warmed some. They're at about 26, better than the teens now, right?
Absolutely.
31 in Oneida, 26 Barberville. Gatlinburg's hovering 32, but Newport 33, Dandridge 33. So that's why we, again, say less of that ice accumulation areas to the east, but this is still continuing further to the west.
Right.
Let's go a little bit further here in time. We'll get the map to go, and I'm going to stop it early tomorrow morning. Knoxville's up to 33. This is all heavy rain.
It is,
at this point. And I'd say the majority of freezing rain is almost out of our area. I'd say it's just along those Tennessee, Kentucky border counties.
Yeah.
The rest of us are fine. So if you sleep in, maybe you need to get out about 10 a.m. to lunchtime. Things are going to rapidly improve in the sense we're warming. But Elena, that's heavy rain.
And it's heavy enough rain that could impact your drive as well.
Sure. Just on a normal day, we know what rain can do. But this is what we've been saying. This is our best case scenario, and this is our forecast has verified, and I think this is going to be the case. Heavy rain with those milder temperatures as we go through the day. Did you see how quickly Gatlinburg jumped up to the 50s?
Oh, yeah. I had to rub my eyes for a moment to see if I was seeing that right.
They're going to be in the upper 40s to maybe mid 50s for some of those foothills and lower elevations tomorrow. Look at Newport at 55 tomorrow afternoon. It's because the winds are coming over the mountains and sinking. It's called a compressional warming. I've always said when I go to schools and talk to the kids, if you ever take a bicycle pump and you're using that bicycle pump to pump up your tire, right? You're forcing that air into a smaller tube. So you're compressing the air molecules, sending it into a smaller tube. You do that several times, you feel the bottom of the pump in the tube, it's hot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's compressional warming. That's what the winds are doing on the other side of the mountains. And they're eating up the moisture as well. So the heavier rain's not going to be over there in the Smokies, but they're going to see those crazy warm temperatures tomorrow.
What a range.
Look by 6 o'clock at Jamestown. So people are saying
23.
Yeah. This is why it's so hard to forecast in East Tennessee.
It is.
It's our elevation. So 23 in Jamestown, 55 in Newport.
Forgive me if my math is incorrect. That is over double, right?
That's a lot.
That's what I thought.
That's a lot. So let's go ahead. 11 o'clock. Notice our temperatures have started to drop again. This is where, especially on the plateau, wet roads will be freezing quickly. We're still close here in the Knoxville area, but again, watch overnight. The purple to the northwest, that's the snow band that comes through. And notice our temperatures. We've dropped into the teens, 20s, single digits in the higher elevations. So Monday morning, many are going to wake up and you're going to see a light coating of snow across the area because temperatures have dropped, the roads have started to freeze. So if TDOT can get out sometime after the rain ends tomorrow evening and try to treat the roads again, maybe things improve, but it's hard to treat or put brine on wet roads. They need it to be dry, so it's probably more salt.
You can only chase your tail so much when it comes to that stuff.
And as we mentioned yesterday, look how much moisture there is in the atmosphere. So this is what has fallen in the form of snow, what will fall in the form of freezing rain, and what will fall in the form of rain tomorrow. 1 to 2.5 inches in less than 24 hours.
That's significant for pretty much any time of year, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is why areas to the north are going to see so much snow. You know, the crazy snow maps that were going on social media a week plus ago, if the cold air had been in place, if the low had traveled further south, then maybe.
It could have been a significant amount.
But that's why we've said all week, it's not going to be a big snow event because the low was tracking too far north.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it.
So that's a lot of rainfall in itself across the area. So think about this. That water's not going anywhere anytime soon, right? It's going to be kind of sticking around.
Lingering in the area.
Ponding on roadways, grassy surfaces. They're not going to be going anywhere, right? So as soon as temperatures start to drop, that's going to see the rapid freeze on some of these elevations like the bridges, the overpasses, lower lying areas where we're seeing standing water. So high temperatures tomorrow. Gatlinburg is going to reach 55 degrees, Newport at 52, and we're probably in the mid to upper 40s. There could be a very sharp drop from I-75, say from Knoxville down through Monroe County. You could see a 10-degree temperature difference in your highs and your lows.
Wow, that is so interesting. So with the amount of all this moisture, I know we've been talking about drought-like conditions before. Does this put a dent in that at all?
It should help dramatically.
It should help? Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're seeing some severe drought for about half of the area from Knoxville to Cumberland County. So this will help. This is what I mean by all that moisture. It doesn't go anywhere.
Right.
Temperatures drop into the teens.
Across the map this time. Everybody's in there.
It's going to be a rough go, I'd say, Monday morning for many areas.
Both with just cold and potentially icy spots again?
Yeah, and that little bit of light snow, that dusting of light snow that happens overnight, Sunday into Monday. Not much of a warm-up Monday afternoon, huh?
No.
That's it for high temperatures. It stays mainly cloudy. It's breezy. We're going to have wind chill values in the teens much of the day.
So will some of those leftover icy residual spots still remain an issue then?
If they aren't treated, yes.
If they aren't treated, okay.
Because the coldest air moves in Monday night. These aren't wind chill values, Elena. These are actual temperatures.
You sure you didn't forget to put a 1 in front of all those?
I wish. Or after.
Right. Oh,
that
yeah,
would
that'd
even
be
better.
the best.
But 3 below Jamestown, 2 below in Barberville, and about 5 for Knoxville and Maryville. The record is 2, set back in 1936, so we're close. This is where we're starting to get to pipe worries.
Yes.
Right.
Protect
in your
those
homes.
pipes.
So this is where Monday night before you go to bed, make sure the cabinets are open for any of the pipes that are facing outside walls.
Yeah. For
That's
example,
probably the best way to
my
describe it.
kitchen sink is on the wall, and I can feel a draft sometimes. So those cabinets are going to be open. And then you want to do, I've heard, do you know the answer to this? Is it just a drip best, or do you want just a really steady stream?
A slow, steady stream is going to be best across the area. But if you happen to wake up, as they've said, if your pipes are frozen, find your shutoff valve.
Just turn off all the water altogether.
Find your shutoff valve and shut it off, because once it does warm up, which is going to be a while, that's when the burst happens. That's when your flooding concerns happen within your home.
And I like when you said last night, that is going to cost you a whole lot more than just choking up a little bit more on your water bill
On the
now.
water bill, a slow, steady stream's a lot better than having a plumber to come in and do a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of repair work. You don't want to lose any of your property, so it's best to just be preventative now rather than wish you would have, for example.
Correct. So let's go a little bit further here. This is the coldest morning Tuesday, right? We're going to see single digits. By the afternoon, some start to see a thaw. It's not a major one, but it's better.
It'll feel better than 5 or whatever we were looking at.
So Gatlinburg will be the upper 30s, but Plateau counties, Kentucky, you're borderline freezing at best. We'll jump into Wednesday. It's going to be another cold start. We're right back in the teens once again, heading out to work, heading out to school. It's not overly windy, which is nice, but that's still cold.
Yeah.
Similar conditions Wednesday. Mid-30s at best for many. Some are still below freezing. So any of these areas that haven't been cleared street-wise, Plateau, Kentucky, those rural areas.
Side streets.
It's not going anywhere.
No.
It's going to take time to clear out. And guess what? Wednesday night, what we call a little clipper system comes through. Could be another little bit of some light snow, but more importantly, it's a reinforcing shot of colder air.
Yeah.
We're back to single digits and teens to the north, mid to upper teens to the south. It's not getting any better.
No.
By the time we get to Thursday, yeah, it's not good. My arrow's flipping, but it should be up. Oh, look at it.
It makes me want to do a flip, Ken.
That's what my head is doing right now.
I can believe it.
What it's going to do, temperatures will be rising overnight tonight. So that 32 is probably through about 2 a.m.
Okay.
After that, temperatures will be warming up through the day tomorrow. I'm expecting 40s here in Knoxville. Will be above freezing as well along the plateau, and probably upper 40s to mid 50s. Places like Gatlinburg, up through Greene and Cott County.
Okay.
Highest elevations of the Smokies, winds are going to be gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour there. Not a great day to be hiking.
No, not a great day to be hiking. I'd say indoor activities are probably best for the next few days.
Absolutely. So we are going to be aware tomorrow. The reason being, it's because the Plateau and Kentucky counties in the morning are still going to have some slick roads. It'll improve, as I mentioned, but in the morning they're still going to have some issues. I'd say once we're past mid-morning and especially midday in Knoxville, I don't anticipate any road issues here in the Knoxville area or to the east. Can't say that to the north and to the northwest, but Knoxville areas will be fine. We're weather aware Monday morning because, as I told you, anything that's still around is going to refreeze, wet roads, and that little bit of light snow that comes in.
And the cold's just going to be so significant, too.
And that's why we're aware Tuesday morning, because we just mentioned we want to make sure you're taking care of the pipes in your homes.
Yep.
And the pets as well. Don't forget them as well.
Even with walking the dogs, by the way. If it's too cold for your feet, it's too cold for theirs.
Yeah, so brief at best.
Yeah.
So
Let them get done what they need to get done.
And it doesn't look any better, as we mentioned, next week. Temperatures are going to stay quite cold. This is well below average, upper 40s for highs, near 30 for lows.
Okay. Here's winter after we were, 60s for how long through December?
Exactly. So maybe the middle of next week we slowly see a thaw, but this is a stretch we're about to get into that's going to be on the rougher side.
Okay, so a lot for us to be watching.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to know before we head into the rest of the evening?
No, I'd say again, like we just mentioned, if you have any plans you need to run some errands, I would just highly suggest it before the sun angle gets too low, and especially before sunset.
But if not, you can probably hold off. And if you're in the Knoxville area, you might have a window tomorrow.
Wait till lunchtime tomorrow. Just don't forget the umbrella and be careful driving, because that rain's going to be on the heavier side tomorrow.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are going to be here tracking everything for you throughout the day. We will have a digital newscast for you over on WATE 6 Plus. So if you have a Roku, a Fire Stick, Apple TV, you'll be able to catch that there. And we'll get you up to date with all of the latest and most current information for you tonight. But in the meantime, we hope you stay warm, stay safe, stay off the roads if you can anyway.
Absolutely.
We'll catch you later.